What's up everyone, hope you're doing fantastic today. My name is Tyson, here with Repair My Funnel, and today we're going to be doing an overview video of the blogging feature and functionality inside of ClickFunnels 2.0. With that said, let's go ahead and jump over to my screen here. Now, in order to get started with actually setting up your blog and making sure that everything is ready to go, you first need to make sure that the site app is enabled inside of your workspace. Now, to do this, all we have to do is go over here to apps, click on a little plus icon, and this will bring us to our app menu, essentially, where you can go ahead and select the tools and features that you want to be enabled inside of your actual workspace. So from here on this page, just scroll down until you see the option for sites. In this case, I already have it enabled, so it's going to show under added, but in your situation, you'd likely see it up here at the very top or in other apps. All right, all you have to do after that, once you see it, is just click on it directly. And I'll give you an example. This is going to be an example screen of what you will actually see. Just click on Add App from here and it'll take you directly into the Overview tab. That's where we kind of start out in this video here, or on my screen. It'll take you to this guy right here, where we can then start putting things together and piecing together your blog. All right, so again, just to recap, make sure you go over here to app, click on the little plus icon. From there, add the actual app that we need, which is going to be labeled site, and then it will then add the actual app itself to your account or to your workspace for you to jump in and actually go in and edit things from there moving forward. Okay. Now, at any point after this, after you've actually added the app, everything will show over here on the left-hand side. All right, so this will not disappear. It'll be over here under apps now, just because we've added it to our workspace. All right, now with that added, let's make sure we're inside of Overview. So click on Site directly. It'll show the drop-down. Click on Overview, and on this page right here, I guess we should do a once-over as far as where you're going to find everything. Now, we're not going to be covering the whole site in this video specifically, but we're going to go ahead and talk about the different components that play into blogs on the platform here. Okay, starting off, I guess, on the Overview tab, we have recent posts. Now, you'll likely see 2 posts in there, because I believe there's 2 test posts that get added there automatically as soon as you have this enabled in your workspace. All right, you can go in and create new posts here. You can manage the posts. You can edit the post settings. All this good stuff directly from the Overview tab right here. All right, on the right hand side, you'll see another option over here that's still related to the same thing that we're seeing here, which is basically just to add a new blog post. If you click this or this, it's going to do the exact same thing. All right, you can also access all your posts, which will, in this case, take us to the actual blog tab or the subcategory here under sites. Let's go ahead and click on that real quick just to cover what this is and what you need to know about this. The actual blog tab here is more around the post itself when it comes to your blog. So whether you're writing specific articles, whatever it is that you plan to do with your blog itself, this is where the content is going to actually be created. Okay, you can create the new blog post here. You can view your blog. This is basically just going to be a preview of what you have already created. I'll show you how to actually create this page and where this is coming from, but just know that you can do that all right here. Now, the one thing you can't do here is actually edit the blog template. So the page that we saw right now, or I click on that button, is going to be the blog home template page. Aside from that, we have the blog categories page and the blog template page, now, or blog post page. These are all templates, those 3 I just mentioned. Those are template pages that everything will be pulling from, and I'll dive into that in a second, but just know that those aren't going to be edited here. This is all about blog posts. Okay, right next to the view blog button, you'll see a little gear icon. This is going to lead us to our actual settings for the blog itself, such as like the name of the blog, the path where people can actually find the blog. As we scroll down, we have SEO and sharing settings. So the actual name that will display in the tab itself. Here's an example. Let me just pull this up side by side. If I go and preview the actual blog, we'll see this is Repair My Funnel blog, right? We'll go back to the first initial tab here. That's what we have set up as the default blog title, right? That's what's actually going to show in the tab itself. We have the description. We can adjust this basically to make it so people can understand what this blog is going to be about. You can put whatever you want here, right? Share an image. This is like what people will see when you share a link to your blog, whether it's on through text message or social media. you can adjust that right here. All right, but beneath that, we have additional settings such as categories. All right, so you can create subcategories or specific categories of topics that you will probably touch on, whether it's, in our case, we have ClickFunnels 2.0 as the main category here, but you can add a bunch. I don't believe there's a limit. You can go in and categorize as much as you want. And then when you create articles, or blog posts rather, you can put those posts under the correct categories based off of what they are related to. All right, you can also go over here and add tags. So again, it's about relation as far as what you want this to be about. In this case, we have examples here of domains or calendar connections, right? It just makes it so it's easier to link to later on. And then beneath that, we have authors. You can go in and create authors that are going to be actually publishing in this workspace. Just click on new author and it'll allow you to set up that right here. All right, there is that. This is just an overview of the actual settings itself. Let's go ahead and leave. I'm going to exit out of these guys as well. There we go. When it comes to actual posts themselves, we can go in and edit the actual settings here. This is going to be like the category, the author that wrote it, the tags you want to be associated with it. You can change up like the path name, I believe, under here, under SEO and sharing. Right, so where people can actually find this blog post and the link or URL that's going to be associated with it. You can adjust like the title, the description, all that good stuff right here. You can also add a featured image. All right, this is going to be what displays for the post itself. As an example, if I go and let me see, I'll add a random image here just as an example. Save and close. If I go and preview this or make it live, it's not actually a live article, so I'll have to change that after this. But if we go and view the blog now, we'll see that that featured image is coming through and showing for that specific blog post. All right, and again, this is not actually live, so let me go back and revert to drafts. There we go. And I'm also going to remove that image. Awesome. Okay. Anyways, there is that. This is just an overview of that. You can go and make any adjustments. You can come back at any point to make any adjustments. This is all going to be here for each individual blog post. All right. Let's go back to blog. Oh, make sure I save that. I do not want to keep that image. Awesome. Aside from that, we can go and actually edit the blog post by clicking on a little pencil icon here, or if you click on the name itself, that should open up the editor for the post. All right, you can actually access the same information that we were just looking at as far as like the blog settings over here on the left-hand side when you are editing the post. All right. Otherwise, this is going to be the actual blog editor. It looks the exact same as maybe like a funnel page or you're creating a landing page. It's the same exact editor, so it should be fairly familiar if you've ever gone in and created any funnel pages or created a site already or anything like that. It's all going to be basically the same. Not basically, it's the exact same editor, so there shouldn't be any adjustment there. All right, let's go ahead and close this. Aside from that, you can duplicate a post, and then you can view a post right over here. All right, when you're writing a post, by default, it'll show as draft. You kind of saw me do this earlier, where I went in and changed the status. You can click on the drop down at any point. You can change it to published. You can go over here and unpublish, all that good stuff. You can, if you click on publish, you can choose when it is going to be published at. You can change the date and time. I'm not going to do that now, but just know that that is an option. Up here at the top, you can categorize or filter based off of the actual status of that article or articles that you see here. Draft, right? Schedule, published, all that good stuff. Okay, now that is a generalized overview when it comes to the navigation and layout of the different components for blogs inside of the site app. Now, there's a couple additional things we need to be aware of, but this is the generalized navigation you need to be aware of to actually create content and edit things like the blog settings and all that good stuff. Now, to actually create the pages for your blog, such as like the blog homepage, right? The overview or the page that shows all of your articles in one area, the actual blog posts page just like this, we have to actually go over here to overview in that left-hand navigation. From there, click on edit site and let that load for a second. For blogs inside of ClickFunnels 2.0, everything is really based around 3 template pages. These templates make up the structure and the layout of the actual page themselves, but the actual content that displays on them is a little bit different from here in the actual live page. What you set up over here in the actual editor is going to be, again, the template version, the layout of it, how everything is going to display, what you want to populate in certain areas. For example, if we go from here and if we compare this to the actual live page, we'll see that things are a little bit different. The main things that are different are going to be the actual posts and how they display on the page itself, right? In the actual editor, we have post title, we have an image right here that looks like it's had nothing selected, right? And then we have a link that says read more. But in the live actual view, we have the actual blog post being brought in and shown on the page itself, right? So we're not going in and manually writing out the blog posts here and adding to this page so that way it displays in the correct area. We're using a dynamically populated element that will pull in the correct information that we need for every new post that we create inside the platform. That sounds crazy, I know, but it makes your life a lot easier moving forward. You don't have to go in and do anything really to this template aside from maybe changing it if you ever want to change design. That's basically it, but you don't have to go and actually add the titles here in these areas. It's going to automatically pull that information with the correct elements in place, right? So again, we'll see titles in the right place. We'll see the links for the correct blog post in place. We don't have to change anything there. It's going to take us to the actual location we want people to see every single time without you really having to worry about or think about it beyond going and hitting post, okay? I will break down the elements that we need to be aware of in a moment, but just know as we go through, that's a common thing between each of the template pages. Each of them have dynamic capabilities, which basically just means it's going to pull the actual information you want and place it in the correct locations on a page. Again, as an example, the names of blog posts. All right, we have blog post title here as an element, and we have the link below that. All right, let's go ahead and touch on the other pages for blog posts. Same thing as what I mentioned on the blog home. This is another template page where we're essentially laying out the structure and designing how we want this to lay out and what information we want to be pulled to the live browser. If we go back and forth here between the template page, which is what we're in right now, the actual editor for the template, and the live view of how this template's being perceived in the browser, we'll see that the layout is the exact same, right? We have the breadcrumbs up here at the top. We have the blog title right here at the top as well. Boom, boom. There we go. Actually, there should be an image above that, but I don't actually have one added. As an example, if I go over here, actually, let me just copy this just to show you. If I add that image there, it will display in the correct area. Let me go to blog. Let's go to this one for Microsoft Teams. Yeah, we'll edit that. I'm going to add a featured image here. Select image. There you go. Repair my file. Go ahead and save and close. And now, if we go back and reload this page, there we go. Okay, so it took a few seconds for me to refresh back and forth, but now we have that image actually displaying there. If we go back and forth, now we have an exact layout match to what we've created inside of the template page itself. All right, there is that. That's all you have to know. So again, we're creating the actual template and the layout over here inside of the template page for the blog home, the blog post, and blog category. All right, and then the different elements that we use are going to determine what information is being pulled to the actual live page. I'll probably actually create a deep dive on each of those, just so you have an understanding, or not each of those, but just the dynamic elements specifically as a whole there, so I can show you what they do, what they're pulling through, all that good stuff. But by default, when you create a new blog, you should have all these elements already in place. You don't need to necessarily adjust them besides going in and maybe adjusting the size or the color. You can go in and change the actual font size of each of them. Right? If you want to be crazy like that, you can. The next one that we have to take a look at here is going to be the blog category. No, I'm not going to save that. Let's go over here to blog category. Oh, blog category. Again, this is the third and final template page that we need to be aware of. And in the live page, this is what it actually looks like. We go and click on this right here. This will show us the category page. Go back and forth. You can see how the layout is very, very, very similar. Right, so at the top here, it's actually pulling the category that we've assigned and that we're viewing right now, and that's what we are using right here at the top. And then we have the individual posts that are displaying or related to that specific category. All right, but the rest of the page, again, it's just the structure that we're creating here. that is all coming through and being dictated from this right here inside of the editor. All right, this is where we're going to call it for this video. There will be future videos for this training as we move forward, so just keep an eye out for those. We'll make a whole playlist on YouTube and also create some blog posts and add it to our blog itself for you to follow along there. I don't want to bore you, so we're going to go and expand on each of the individual things that need expansion on in future videos to come, and they will be coming out very soon. So just keep an eye out for that. And yeah, that is it. All right, if you have any questions around anything I covered today, make sure to leave a comment down below. Reach out to us. We're happy to help and point you in the right direction whenever possible. All right. That said, have a fantastic rest of your day, and we will catch you in the next video.